This is a Couch Troll Brewing production. Hi, this is Luke from Couch Troll Brewing. I'm not going to cop out and say this is a top 5. Because it's not. I have 7 cards on this list. And I really think some of these are really spicy build-arounds. Or at least a little bit of an upgrade to what we already have. So here we go. The top 7 brand new cards from M20 coming to Arena Pauper. Number 7. Wildfire Elemental. Now we got to be careful with Arena Pauper. Sometimes they sneak some spicy cards into the Planeswalker decks. Like super weird, spicy build-around cards. And that's what we're going to start off with. We got, at my bottom, number 7. Wildfire Elemental. 2 and 2 red for a 3/3. So it's a 4 mana 3/3. Not the worst. But its rules text is super spicy. Whenever an opponent is dealt non-combat damage, creatures you control, so all your creatures, get +1/+0 until end of turn. So all of a sudden your shocks become an Anthem effect. Your Spear Spewers become tap, pump the whole team. Card like Rakdos Roustabout just will, if it becomes blocked, will again pump your whole team. And Scorch Spitter, one of the other new cards from the set. When it attacks, will deal 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. We don't have any common planeswalkers. Again, Anthem effect. This Wildfire Elemental can do a lot of damage out of nowhere, dropping down on turn 4. Hopefully, you go wide with some goblins. You do some other, maybe red-green, maybe red-black. The whole idea is you want to be able to drop this down on turn 4, turn 5, after you've gone wide, and just shock, attack, hopefully get some buffs on your team, and either wrath your opponent's board, or just kill them outright. Number 6 on my list is Borealis Elemental. Another 5 mana, 3 powered flyer. That's 4 and a blue. This one is a 3/4 in the air, which is pretty good. And spells your opponent's cast at target Borealis Elemental cost 2 more to cast. So in a control mirror, this makes it a little bit harder to kill, which can be huge if control does come back. Sadly, did not come back nearly as hard as I thought it was going to, with persistent petitioners being banned out of the format. I'm curious to give this one a try. I mean, I don't know how this stacks up versus Chillbringer or Chili P or whatever they call it, but this is another solid 5 mana option as a top end of a control curve. Number 5, AnguishSyphon. 3 and a black, gets you a sorcery. Deal 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life. So it's a 4 mana removal spell. Not as good as Obnixilus's Cruelty, not as good as Murder. But it can also go face. It gains you some life, helps you stabilize. The versatility might be worth the 4 mana. This is more of a wait and see. It's also got beautiful Seb McGinnon art, so it also has that going for it. Going down to my number 4, we got Cloudkids Seer. 2 and a blue gives you a 2/1 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. I love that phrase on creatures. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. It's basically this format's Muldrifter. You're casting it for 3 mana, you get 1 card out of it. So it's the exact same cost as the evoke cost on a Muldrifter. It replaces itself, which is huge. If blue-white flyers is going to be more of a tempo deck, this is going to be a very important card in it because it'll just help you keep rifling through your deck to get more gas on the board. Moving on to number 3, We got Audacious Thief, which is 2 and a black for a human rogue 2/2. When Audacious Thief attacks, draw a card and lose 1 life. Doesn't have to connect, doesn't care if it's unblocked. It's a ninja. It's not a great ninja. It's a 3 mana 2/2 that's a lightning rod, but it will, eat a removal spell, or it will take over the game. You want some of these in your deck, specifically at the 3-4 mana slot. Just keep pressuring your opponent, saying, "Can you kill it? Can you kill it?" This, if you can't kill it, and you have removal of your own to be able to get their creatures out of the way, or combat tricks enough to keep it alive, it's like Curiosity or Curious Obsession, and just keeps drawing your cards, keep sticking you into more action. Moving on to number 2, we got another Planeswalker deck card, Savage Gorger, 1 black for a 1/1 flyer. Also, at the beginning of your end step, if opponent lost life this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Savage Gorger. This is another one of those 3-drops that can just snowball out of control and take over a game. Pair this with an Ill-Gotten Inheritance. It's a reasonably fine late drop. Really good in an aggro deck, because you're just going to untap with it. You're going to have a 3 mana 2/2 flyer, which is basically at rate. And it just goes up from there if you can maintain the ping damage, maintain the pressure. I think this card has a real shot in our format. And finally, my number 1. You watched the other video, you already saw me talk a little bit about this card. We got Winged Words. 2 and a blue gives you a sorcery. Draw 2 cards. Divination by another name. But if you control a flyer, this costs 1 less to cast. So, we go from Divination to Chart a Course without having to attack. That's a pretty reasonable upgrade, and it's at common, so unlike Chart a Course, which is not. I think this is probably going to replace Chart a Course in those constructed mono blue flyer decks post-rotation. And it's at common, so we get access to it too for the Arena Pauper. Super stoked to give this card a try. Can't wait to start brewing with y'all. Thanks for watching the video. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing. You can follow me on Twitter @GeekLukeG. This is Couch Troll Brewing.